What's up, guys? Starting to populate, Andy. It's getting popular in here now.
It is?
It is, dude. 90.
Hell yeah.
James Costa. What's up, man? Where's Handy? Simmons, you should get in your truck and start driving, dude.
You could be here by the time it's over.
Yeah, by the time all this is done, you might even make it here.
We can.
What's up, Reeve? What are you watching? I don't know. Let's see Andy. We're getting requests to see Andy already. Let's go, Brandon. You guys are a good crowd tonight. I like it. What's up, John? My sleds show up yet? All right, so here's the deal. I'm down in Wyoming right now. I'm on a top secret mission. And actually, I just came down to ride some snowmobiles. A bunch of my teammates were like, hey, we know that you don't have sleds. Why don't you come and ride some of ours? And so I jumped on a plane, got myself down to Jackson, and now we're down here riding some snowmobiles. And right now we're currently hanging out at the Redneck race shop. We're at the Andy Thomas. This is your sort of headquarters, right, bud?
Yeah, this is where everything happens for us.
All right, man. We're going to, let's go do like a little shop tour. Let's see what you got going on. You said that your chick was doing a wrap for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we'll flip the camera and let's do a little shop tour.
Yeah, this is where we get dressed for every day. It's nice camo wallpaper, you know?
That was sick, dude. I was trying to figure out if this is duct tape, but it's like straight up wallpaper, huh?
Yeah, it's straight up wallpaper. They still make wallpapers.
I love this, dude. You got a couple sleds, it looks like.
Yeah, a couple new snowmobiles that we're going to try to race this year.
You're a bit of a racer, huh?
Yeah. The pretty one.
Dang, dude.
155.
Like a premiere right now, huh?
Yeah.
Nobody's got to see this thing yet.
Yeah, we haven't released this wrap yet, but a little bit of it. We put some elk antlers in the wrap this year, and I think it looks sick.
Why the elk antlers? Are you much of a hunter, or you just like really like the animal, or
Yeah,
what's the story behind the elk?
I'm obsessed with hunting elk and love being outdoors, so I figured elk antlers would add to my mountains and trees. So
It looks really good, dude. Who did that one for you?
we had my girlfriend down here wrapping this all week. This is an Arctic FX wrap. It's almost done.
Yeah, it looks like she missed like a little bit of an area right in this area here.
Yeah, I think she wanted me to do that. She said the stickers were too big.
Now, I seen you had a motor pulled down over here too.
Yeah.
This is where you set up all of your race motors. So you guys bench them here and then build them from the ground up, right?
Yeah, ground up. We do all of our own work, and we have help from Carl Cycle over in Boise, but yeah, we do most of all of our own mechanicking and stuff. So we've got one here, tore apart, getting ready for race season.
Right. So they all start as those production snowmobiles. So the races, like your race sleds that we get to see, you know, on the Rimshaw Live and at Jackson Hole and all those are all the exact same snowmobiles that the consumer could buy. Like those two, the RMK Chaoses over there, 155s.
They come just like anyone would buy them, and we tear them all the way down to pretty much nothing, and then build them back up with parts that we think are cool.
That's awesome.
Make it work better is the plan.
Right. And so then you start with the production snowmobile, and then it turns into a couple of these badass machines over here.
Yeah, these are two fully built mods. This is a 600 mod that we've retired it, but it has quite a few points championships, a few Jackson Hole World titles, and this is my baby. I'll keep this forever. I wanted to hang it upside down like a valley.
A trophy sled now.
Yep, trophy sled.
I know a guy that's got a couple of those too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big old metal sleds.
Right.
Yeah.
This thing's sick. So it's 600?
Yeah, 600. It's a small bore. It's actually like 580, but we long stroked it out.
Maybe the fastest 580 I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I've seen the things that you do with this thing. It's a little interesting. And then what about this guy? This one looks fairly similar, but underneath the hood there's probably something maybe a little bit more bigger stroke and bore in there, huh?
Yeah, this is actually just an 850 ported, polished Carl Cycle motor with a high boost turbo. This is one of my 900 mods from a couple years ago that I've kept around for a practice sled, and it still rips, so we keep it in the fleet.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
This is interesting for me because I come from Canada, British Columbia. There isn't a race circuit there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm a huge race nerd, right? Coming from Snowcross and everything.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's so cool for me to come and see like all of the little tidbits that you don't get to see in the live feed, or, you know, there's definitely some secrets under the hood and that you're not willing to expose to, you know, your fellow competitors or the public. And,
Right.
and you know, to have access to come into the shop like this and you know, check it out with you is really cool.
Yeah, and it is cool because they come off the showroom floor just like a normal sled that anyone can buy, and you get on one of these and they're completely different than anything that you'd ever ride. The way they're set up, they're actually a lot harder to backcountry ride than
Right.
to drive up the Hillclimb course. So a lot of work are put into them to make them different, and it's cool to have them. It's cool to see them from start to finish.
Heck yeah. I was in here yesterday. We came in, we did like a little bit of prep work. I shot that little Instagram reels, and one of the things I seen was a really sick retro photo on the wall of an Indy flying through there. So let's go check that out.
Yeah, right over here. This is actually my uncle back in the day. I don't even know what year that is, like 95-ish. I'm not sure what year that snowball is. It says 600 RMK. But yeah, hill climbing runs deep in my family, so
Right.
luckily I was able to carry it on, and me and my little brothers. But yeah, that's my uncle way back in the day.
What's the story about the dartboard?
The dartboard.
You guys, I've heard stories, dude. We were just at dinner and saying it's like, don't let him suck you into the dartboard.
Yeah, once
It's
you start playing darts, you aren't going home till like 2 or 3 in the morning. It sucks you in, but yeah, one of my buddies came in here last year, and I had one hanging on the wall, and he couldn't believe that I'd have such a peasant dartboard hanging here. So like a week later, this showed up on my house on a pallet.
right.
Yeah.
That is so
Good
sick.
friends, I guess. We've thrown thousands of darts in there. What a play game.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, man, my aim is terrible. Just ask my wife.
Yeah, we'll get it dialed in before you head home.
Then you have a bit of a parts room in here. I'm not going to go very in depth. I might just kind of like creep it around here, but there's some things in this area that not very many people get to see. And we were in there last night digging for some parts, and I was very impressed with your parts selection.
Yeah. We have a good.
It takes a little bit of an army of parts to put a race program together, huh?
Right, and you have to have a lot of spares because we wreck sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
What year was that you wrecked? It was super icy. I was actually at Jackson that year.
Yeah.
And I remember you just like coming down, and I can't remember who the videographer was or whatever, and you like got right in the face like, well, we just wrecked $500,000 worth of sleds this morning.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely some of my inner colors came out that year when we all wrecked, but I think that was 2017.
yep.
Bright and early in the morning. It had rained all day the day before, and then it freezing.
And then they put
temperatures.
600 mods up first runs.
Yeah, 600 mods were first. It blew a hole like that big out of the top of my piston.
Dang.
So just locked
It
up.
just got hot.
Yeah, I think so. Hot and lean.
Right.
Yeah, it was cold.
You need to do what I do with my freestyle sleds and put a radiator on the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
That's the ticket.
You
got-
gotta show me how.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Rig me up.
Well, let's sit down, dude. Let's get into the meat shop. Let's do some bullshitting.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? So that was a quick little intro. We're here at the Redneck Race Shop with Andy Thomas. Andy is probably one of the more silent, badass dudes that I've ever met. Insane backcountry rider, very well-rounded racer, all through the classes, right? Like, you're not just a mod guy.
Yeah, I like stock and improved and mod. I'm in all of them. Yeah.
Right.
I just like to race. You know?
So the moral of the story is I don't have any snowmobiles at home right now, and I have a bunch of really cool teammates and Polaris behind me. They know that I don't have snowmobiles, and they said, you know what, like a bunch of your teammates in Wyoming do, so you should probably come down and ride some. And this past week's been sick, dude.
Yeah.
It's been really
insane.
rad.
Yeah. Today it was so deep. It's just been dumping ever since Brett got here, and
Yeah.
it was so deep today.
You know, one of the things that's interesting for me, this is my first time riding Western United States. It's like
Yeah.
very, very, very like, I've always seen the stuff. I've seen how people hunt down here. I've seen how people
Right.
ride, but to get like immersed into it and see how, you know, just how the landscape works and how your guys' trees are. It was, you know, there was like glimpses where I felt like at home, and then there was other times where I was just like very alienated.
Right. I didn't realize this was your first time riding it, like
Yeah.
this area, but Yeah, that's
McKinney
really
was
cool.
giving me shit, dude. He's like, you're heavy, you're breathing pretty heavy. Like, are you used to that 6,000 feet?
Yeah, even I was yesterday. We were so high. I was like, man, dude, if I forget to breathe when I'm out here trying to hit a line or something, then
It reminded me
was
a lot
thin.
of like going to Aspen and trying to get acclimated for, you know, Winter X. And like,
Right.
you're at 9,000 feet in town there.
Yeah.
And then to go and do a freestyle run for 75 seconds is like, you're trying not to hold your breath at all, but you come off of there so gassed.
Yeah.
And there was a
trying to stand up and-
couple times today where, I mean, I was stuck and you were stuck and I had to help you roll sleds over and we were pinched up against trees.
Yeah.
And I, like, at the end of that, I was like so gassed,
Yeah.
you know? And it was very cool to get to be able to experience that. I have one more day here tomorrow with you guys and it's dumping right now.
One more day, and tomorrow might be over the handlebars. It was so deep today. I can't wait to see what tomorrow's like.
Oh, she's a little foamy, man.
But yeah, we'll see. It's really cool having you out here, though.
Thank you.
You
Yeah,
need to get up in your neck of the woods.
you should, dude.
Yeah, this year, hopefully.
I was asking you today, actually, when your race season was over, and it's kind of like perfect timing for when all of the good spring riding happens in BC.
Yeah.
I think that you'd really enjoy that.
Head up
And
there.
I know a guy that is, by that time should have a couple of sleds.
Yeah. I won't have to bring extras.
And you're a fan of the 146.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time on a 146. I love it.
Look at this guy talking shit
some
on me,
miles on
calling
yours.
me a breathless Canadian. Whatever, dude. I ride at 6,000 feet, and these guys live at it. Like, it's a completely new world.
It's a different animal.
It is.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Elevation's
I'd be
Yeah.
lying. My summer, I just lived on the boat and drank a bunch of these with my wife and kids.
Yeah.
You know, without X Games and without an actual goal or an end point.
Yeah.
I just let myself go.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get you back in shape.
Yeah, very
This
fast.
week, yeah. Quick.
I was laughing with my wife before I left. I was like, you know, like Christmas and holidays and Thanksgiving, all this. I'm like, I'm feeling a little soft. And then I come and spend 3 days here, and I'm like, okay, I kind of back to feeling like myself
Yeah,
again.
especially after tomorrow. Pulling on skis all day tomorrow is going to get you right back in.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Let's talk Rimshaw, dude. Let's talk some hill climbing. You know, I've been an Andy Thomas fan. I very closely watch the Rimshaw live feeds. It's always something that I'm interested in because I've been down here. I've been to Jackson. I know what it takes to put a run together. I've seen.
Yeah, you showed up at Jackson a few years ago and podiumed.
Yeah, like
That's insane.
right? And it's one of those things where like I have so much respect for the grind. You said it was your second full winter off, or this is your first full winter off?
This is my second full winter off. So last year I was able to full-time snowmobile, and this will be my second
Right.
year being able to do that, which is
So a couple of years
super
ago, you had a full-time job,
awesome. Yeah.
and you were building a race program. So
Yeah.
like, what did an average night in the shop look for you and your brothers and your family?
Up until last year, I was putting in 40 to 60-hour weeks at my real job as a lineman. You know, we had a ton of overtime, just people hitting power poles and just normal things going wrong, you know.
Right.
But after that, I was in the shop from after work until midnight or 1 in the morning for multiple months trying to get sleds built. And then if stuff went wrong, then we were in there more. So I was putting in just as much or more time into my race career as my full-time job.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It's
like
pretty crazy.
doing it right out of passion. I remember talking in the truck earlier this morning. It's like you have to have a really good weekend to make some money at this gig,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, but you're out there not to even beat your competitors, but also to like beat yourself, right? That's the
Yeah.
thing with the Rimshaw series is
That's what's
it's
cool
all
about it.
timed, right? So if anybody doesn't know or if they don't follow the Hillclimb series, there's timing lights at the bottom of the hill. There's gates the entire way up, so it's essentially an uphill slalom course, and then another set of timing lights at the top. So what motivates you, aside from wanting to win? Say you had a bad run or you felt like you had a good one and you come back and you see the time clock and it's not what you'd expected. How do you regain the fire to go out and just be better?
A lot of it is just my internal burn to do well, but you go up and you put in like a solid run and then you come back down and somebody else put in a more solid run.
Yeah.
You're like, what are they doing that I'm not doing? So that's a huge motivation, and just the burn that I have to have a life with snowmobiling.
Right.
Just in general, not just hill climbing, but like all of it. And hill climbing is kind of my niche. It's what I came into this sport as,
right.
Just a hill climber. So, yeah, I would say just my burn to be a good snowmobiler is what keeps me motivated to keep trying to win. Yeah.
So really, like, no different than a weekend guy that, you know, he works all week, has to, you know, be a dad or a husband or
yeah, exactly.
or everything, and then he has his chance on Saturday to go have like a really sick day with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that day didn't go as well as he planned, and he's like, you know, but he has all week to prepare. You can go and do a run, and you might have a class immediately after that. So is it a benefit being able to be in a bunch of classes to be able to see the course, or do you think that sometimes that hurts you as well?
No, I think it's a benefit because the first one you're always so nervous and jittery. You know, you get weak on your first run anyways because you're so excited and nervous.
Right.
So having the more classes, the better for me. One, just for seat time, we put so much work into this. The more I get to ride, the better. But yeah, definitely having classes back to back or more than one a day, it helps to be able to.
So would you say, you know, some of the courses are super gnarly. There's some, you know, the Afton course, for instance, is kind of referred to as like a mini Jackson. You know, there's lots of snow walls, there's rocks, and there's sage and stumps.
Yeah.
It's gnarly. Would you say that the work that you put in the backcountry, riding for fun, does that carry over to the race course for you?
Yeah, definitely. The riding really gnarly backcountry stuff and like really tight trees, it helps me like be more committed to my lines. When I see a line, be committed to it. And we all know if you don't look ahead riding in backcountry, you're going to be stuck.
Right.
You get tired of pulling on your own ski all the time or asking buddies for help. So backcountry riding definitely transfers over, especially when you ride with people like you and Keith Curtis and a lot of my buddies that are just gnarly.
I just seen actually last week you were riding with Keith.
Yeah.
How'd that go? You guys were all on boost. It looked like it was a very good time.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, I was riding with a couple of my Hillclimb buddies, Keith, Sam Peterson, Toby Shepard, my little brother, Cole Thomas. Yeah,
it was his birthday today.
Yeah, Cole's birthday today.
What's up, Cole? Happy birthday, dude. If you're in here watching, you're probably out doing something way more fun than just Andy and I bullshitting in the shop. For all we know, he's going to walk through the door.
Yeah, he might show up. This might be his fun thing to do for the night.
Right. Well, I think he was talking shit on darts, dude.
Yeah, I know.
I might come throw darts with you guys.
The thing is, if you play Cole in darts, he's going to take your money. He always wins and takes your money.
The sweet thing about being Canadian is when I come down here, I don't bring any cash. Yeah. So I'll be running to the ATM.
You're always on an IOU or a Venmo?
Yeah. 100%.
That's funny.
Oh, there's a bunch of people in here giving happy birthdays.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the week leading into Jackson. I know I've done it a couple times. The first year, actually, the year that I podiumed here, I didn't put that much effort in. I kind of came in, stole some clutch setups from the Speedworks guys and the Pukas brothers, and it was just like, okay, like I'm gonna put this in my snowmobile and I'm gonna be able to go fast. And it's like, you know, indexing screws. I was like, whatever. Like, you know, making sure that all the screw heads lined up. I wasn't doing that. And, I went into that event like thinking that it was fun because for me, like, I'm not in the points race. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a spectacle. It's notching the belt, so to speak. Is it's like to be able to say that I've got a Jackson Hole podium, an X Games gold medal, or a few, and like, you know, some Snowcross championships.
Wins,
like that for me was a way to like kind of round off, you know, who I am as a snowmobiler. Mm-hmm. But for you, like, that's kind of your X Games, right? That's the most exposure. That's the one that, you know, the sponsors they have their eyes on you.
Jackson's the big time. It is our X Games. All the sponsors watch that. A lot of my sponsors rely on my results at Jackson.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy, but yeah. So there's a lot of pressure rolling into that, but same as you, like when I'm having fun, that's normally when I do well.
Right.
When I put too much pressure on myself, which is easy to do, especially with how much I've invested into this sport, that's when I normally start like missing corners and doing that kind of shit.
And I could feel that too, because the first year I came like on a fun basis. I was riding the Freestyle show. I was also racing Jackson. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I didn't pay too much attention to like really what my sleds were set up like. Mm-hmm. And I got a taste of success, and I'm like, I'm going to come back next year. I'm going to put in way more effort. I'm going to do all the things right.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I qualified a class.
Yeah, you came back too serious.
Yeah, I was too serious. I was like, even Nikki can like be like, yeah. She was like, "You're being an asshole. Like, you're taking this way too serious. You're not a hill climb racer.
Yeah.
Like, why are you acting like one?"
Because you had a little taste of that podium the year before.
I did.
But this year you'll have to come out and train with me. And
is that an invite, dude?
yeah, that's an invite.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm spreading it for you. You and Kyle Pulsfer will it'll be rowdy.
Oh, buddy.
Us three.
You guys build test courses around here so that you can be on snow like quite a bit.
Yeah, on snow for like 6 days a week, really, 4 to 6 days a week, and treat it like a full-time job now. Yeah.
That is very cool, dude. And I seen this summer you were doing work in Jackson and you know, with the lineman work, and I seen you and your brothers and digging trench. Like, how cool is it that you're very central, right? So that for the rimshot circuit, like it's not a huge commitment for travel for you.
No, I'm really lucky that way. There's actually 2 rimshot races and Jackson that I can stay home for Jackson. It's an hour drive.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool. I would love to experience something like that. Like if I lived in Aspen and X Games was kind of just like my backyard like game, you know, there's something to be said about you know, having the success and the feeling of, you know, being at home and being able to sleep in your own bed too, like that level of comfortability that comes along with that.
Yeah,
it helps, right?
It's definitely an advantage to be able to come home, but you know, like get in bed, have your dogs there, have your girlfriend there, your own bed. You're not
sleeping in the trailer and worried about the running out of propane.
Right, even out drinking water from your freaking sink, like all of that is a huge difference for comfort and rest. And and when you're like up against guys like as serious as Keith Curtis and all these guys, like that's
but you are one of the guys, dude.
Yeah, I always forget.
You can't think about it like that, dude. You're one of the guys.
Yeah, it's weird to still say that. But
there's a reason the Polaris gives you a bunch of snowmobiles and asks you to go to the top with it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so you mentioned that you wanted to come to Canada.
I'd love to come to Canada. Maybe this May.
Yeah, that would be great.
Spend a weekend.
What would you expect? I mean, you've seen the videos, you know what Instagram looks like, you've seen sort of like the terrain. You know, what would be your sort of expectations going in there? Like, would you want to go there and hit jumps, or you want to go ride trees? Or like, what's your sort of like ambitions to explore what BC has to offer?
I don't know. I've never been. I've just, like you said, I've only seen social media, so just thinking about it, what I think of is spending like getting out there early, coming home late, like packing fuel, like full days of adventure.
Especially April, dude, because you could be lazy and get out of bed at 10.
Yeah.
But you're like up on the mountain from 10:30 or 11 until like 7 or 8 at night.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. It's like
they're
long
huge
days out there.
days.
And I want the whole experience. I want to hit some shovel jumps. I want to hit some natural jumps. And I'm a tree rider. Like I definitely want to see what your trees are all about. And I have to do downhill turns up there. Like your mountain seems so big without trees on them, and some of them, you know.
Right. I seen how excited you got for downhill turns yesterday, and I was like, man, this is a lot like Canada.
We did like 4 turns on a little hill, and I'm like, dude, we can hit downhill turns for hours here.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, on that little hill?
Yeah.
That was the thing that kind of shocked me. Look at this guy. Yeah, there's no trees in BC. Yeah, right. Bryce Connor. Did you ever remember Bryce Connor?
I don't know.
He used to race. What's up, Bryce? He used to race hill climbs in like the Norm Hebert days. And,
oh yeah.
And
a little bit before me.
Yeah, a little bit of ways before you. What is it like for Andy racing his cousin? And are they friends during the race, or is it gloves off? Yeah, I'll let you answer that one, dude.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, we grew up racing together, so we're kind of the same racer on the course. So if I beat him, then I was just the better guy. If he beats me, he was the better guy. We're both happy for each other. So we definitely have some gloves on sometimes, though, but not over racing.
You guys are competitive too. We were at dinner earlier, and you guys were like legit arguing about whose TikTok videos are better. You know?
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a whole family.
Pretty much, if your last name is Thomas, you're competitive. You're competitive, and you have some aggression, and you want to be the best, right?
Right. I don't know why, but that's how we are.
I love reading some of the comments
Yeah,
in
I do
here,
too.
dude.
It's
It's
good.
awesome. Thanks again to everybody that's tuning in. This is really cool. For the first time, been able to do a meet shop live where I'm actually like in the studio, so to speak. We're here at the Redneck Race Shop. We're at the Andy Thomas, and yeah, man, this has kind of been one of the things that I've been dreaming about, trying to get top level athletes onto the channel, do some live feed, do some Q&A, and yeah, thanks again for tuning in. Just reading through some of the comments. My buddy John from back home says, set it up for Andy to come to BC and Outlaw will set him up with sleds.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, Outlaw's sick, dude. Outlaw Motorsports in Kamloops, they've been helping me out a ton. They actually gave me the opportunity to ride one of their sleds before I came down here. It just didn't work out. It was freaking so cold at home.
Really?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Miserable, like Monday this week, or colder?
It was colder than what Monday was here.
Dang.
Yeah, it was gnarly. But yeah, thanks again, John and Landon. You guys have been awesome, and looking forward to coming back home. But we have tomorrow to look forward to, dude.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna have some deep snow.
And the
I can't
snowmobiles
stop
are
thinking
ripping.
about tomorrow.
The
I
snowmobiles
know.
run. I was really surprised that we're riding at 9,000 feet, and just sort of like seat of the pants feel. The sleds don't feel that far off from where I ride at 6,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. The sleds we're riding right now are straight up ripping.
Yeah, you guys have done a really good job with your calibration, and
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome to be able to just kind of like fly in and jump on one of your sleds and go and
Just
rip.
rally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that your guys' race experience with setup and suspension and clutching, that all trickles down, right? Like that
Yeah.
stuff that that you guys kind of carry close to your pockets, and your sleds are stock, but the things that are going on inside, they definitely, there's some improvements there that.
Yeah, every time we go out, I think it's in a racer's mindset and mentality to always be making things better. So every time we go out, we're like, I could shave a little bit of weight off here, add some clutch rate here, some spring rate here or there. And so
We were even
always
doing it
making
today
better.
on the velocity shocks, like messing with the high and low speed, because the snow was challenging. It was deep, and then all of a sudden you'd find bottomless, and then it was it was wild. So to be able to see you take feedback from what the snowmobile is giving you, and to actually being able to manipulate what the suspension works like to make the snowmobile work better for you, like it was night and day to be able to see the difference that a couple clicks makes.
Yeah, for sure. I saw someone on there say, congrats on my success, thank you, I really appreciate that. And then another guy asked me if I became a journeyman lineman. Yes, I have. 2 years ago I took my test, so really cool to get that out of the way. I love seeing all these.
Yeah, it's been it's popping off in there. I seen a comment actually, and it said first puller it's free, so I think maybe later we might have to start up some sleds in the shop.
Yeah, I'm down. We'll rev up that 600.
Brett, when you hit jumps, do you wear an Avi pack? Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the jumps that I hit, that you guys are seeing, those take place in the spring, but there's definitely a lot of times where midwinter the backpack's on and I don't even have time to stop and shovel. I just hit the jump, ride through the trees, and that's kind of the way. And to kind of add to that, the Avi pack thing for me is like, it's like a seatbelt. It's there if you need it. It's may or may not always going to save your life, but it's always a very good tool to make sure that you're strapped in. And I think that it's maybe a little counterproductive to take your Avi pack off to go and hit a jump, because most of the times if you're jumping, you're going to land on a downhill, and sometimes those downhills rip, right? Like there was a shot of Sayan and Mennebury a few years back in the 509. It ripped. Like that's a real situation.
Yeah, and another thing too, you never know when it's going to go, especially in my area. Avalanche danger seems to always be bad. Where over here, it seems like every year we have bad Avi danger, but yeah. And another thing is my Avi pack has saved me so many times from like sticks hitting me, or my sled rolling over my back or something. It's like a really, really good chest protector. Yeah,
and so for my setup, guys, personally, I run a motocross chest protector underneath of my jacket, on top of my base layer, and then I run my Avi pack on my back, obviously, but I don't run the rear chest plate part of the chest protector.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the fact that the backpack is there. You know, it's a piece of protection, really. You know, it's one of those pieces that, you know, when we're doing downhill hopovers and you're doing bow ties and, like you said, like the Jill pokes, those are real life scenarios. And,
yeah, for sure.
And you know, it's just like just an extension of my body at that point.
Yeah. Yep, I feel naked without my Abby pack on. If I
It's
take it
weird,
off,
I know,
I
for
don't
sure.
ride well.
Yeah.
I have to have it.
There's been, you know, maybe a small amount of times where I've taken my pack off to do big drops.
Yeah.
And that's when I know, you know, the snowpack is good. My buddy John, how long until Andy throws his teammate Keith? You're actually bitching about that today because anytime you start the new 7S dash, there's a video of Keith riding by you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's coming, dude. Your time. I've seen you beat him.
I'm not very happy that Keith gets the screen, and I want that screen. And I think that if I win a lot, I might get that screen. So I think the first race is in like 3 weeks. So 3 weeks, I'll dethrone Keith.
You should make a bet, dude. You got to get a hold of marketing and make a bet. Put a buck on it and say, hey, man, if I beat Keith, I get the video in the screen next year. But if not, like, here's a buck.
Yeah.
I think that's go for
that
it.
is a fair competition. Yeah.
I'm just wondering how I can get a backflip on there, but I don't think legal would like that too much.
I know, freaking legal. That'd be sick to have you flipping. I'd rather see that than seeing Keith.
Right?
I don't like, every time I start my sled, I just see Keith, and I'm like, oh. Motivation, though, for me to get going.
Right. Hey, look at your buddies calling you, man.
Yeah.
More, not so much your buddy, more your boss.
My race boss.
Right. Let's answer a question here. What Abbey packs do you guys run? I run the High Mark by Snow Pulse. I run the, you know, on light days, I'll run the Ridge. The other days, I run the Pro. The Pro for me is, you know, it's big. It has plenty of storage, goggle storage. I believe it's 22 liters of capacity in the airbag, and it's kind of my go-to. It's not too heavy. It's actually a workout at the first part of the season, and it's always been kind of my go-to. It's nice to throw the Ridge on, though, like to be able to have some options to have a bigger bag or a smaller bag depending on how you're feeling that day.
Yeah.
But what bag do you run, Andy?
I run the Climb Aspect 16. It's the one with the chest mount. It's the smaller one. I just run one. I'm really big on a lot of bags on my snowmobile.
Yeah.
And
I'm the same way, dude.
so.
With the new lock and ride too, like there's so many options. But for me, guys, I try and keep my backpack to the minimum. So goggles, gloves, beanie or toque, depending if you're American or Canadian. My wife's talking shit, dude. She's like, yeah, Brett has to come and train with you. Do you think he has a chance? Yeah, maybe if I could start breathing, babe.
Yeah, we definitely have to get his lungs moving a little bit better, but definitely has a chance, and you're more than welcome to stay with us too.
Yeah, so back to the bags. I try and keep my Abbey pack light, like I was saying. You know, gloves, toques, spare set of goggles, you know, first aid kit.
Yeah.
My fire lighting sort of essentials. I use the Pyro Putty. It's like this little, comes in a tin. It almost looks like a tin of chew, and you pull it apart, and it has all these little like fibers in it, and you could use a striker.
Well, that's cool.
Or a lighter to start it.
I need some of that.
Yeah, you do. Dude.
Sure.
It's actually from the same guys that run Phone Scope. So
even
yeah,
better.
I'll hook you up.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then for the most part, I try and put camera gear, water bottles, tools, everything on the tunnel. It's kind of one of those, it's like 6 of one or half a dozen of the other, right? It's I don't want to carry all the weight on my back, but I also don't love having it on the tunnel just for trenching. But now with the new Slash tunnel, I'm not even concerned.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of a Sally when it comes to putting weight on my back. Like, I put an extra pair of gloves in there. I'm like, this thing's heavy.
Dude, I legit threw my second water bottle out today because for one, it like wasn't fitting in my bag very well, and for two, I was like, oh, that's like, you know, that's more weight. I don't need all that weight
ounces.
on there. Yeah.
Another pound.
How similar is flipping a sled compared to a dirt bike? It's pretty similar. I mean, you're still going upside down, and you still got a spot of landing. Just the way that you pull is a little bit different, and the sled has a ton of power and inertia in the track. So the longer you hold the throttle on the sled, the faster it wants to come around. On a dirt bike, it's kind of just like what you can do off of the lip, and then you're just along for the ride. There's not much that you could do with the dirt bike that adds more rotation, but it's really good for technique. It's one of those things. You haven't flipped yet, so this is all kind of like French to you.
No, but I'm definitely listening.
You're listening?
One day, maybe. I don't know.
So flipping the dirt bike it's all just on like body language and how you initiate the flip, and then you're kind of along for the ride. Where, sometimes I get lazy with flipping my sled, and I just don't pull that hard, and I just grab a handful of gas.
Right. That's interesting. I didn't know that that dirt bikes didn't have as much response if you hold it pinned.
For sure. You're talking about a wheel that, is maybe...
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know what that rear wheel would weigh, 20, 25 pounds, something like that.
Yeah, something.
It can't be super heavy, but you look at a sled track and the length of it, and there's paddles and
all that inertia.
A ton of inertia.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, look at this guy, Rhett Rumsey. When are you going to get upside down, Andy? You've been upside down, just not like full rotation. I was going through Instagram last night trying to grab photos out of there. And I seen a clip of you and Keith, and you did like a really sick aired out re-entry last year.
Yeah, I like doing
You're pretty
those.
upside down.
Yeah, I like going upside down, but I don't know. Backflip just seems, it's like in my head, it seems scary. So we'll see. Maybe within the next couple years.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, dude, I can't do a gainer or like a backflip off a diving board.
Yeah, I can't.
My daughter is way better at flipping than I am.
Really?
Yeah.
My little brother can flip anything. He could do a backflip flat ground.
Right.
Coal can. I'm like a fish out of water when anything like that. So maybe one of these days that'd be cool. You got to get my talent.
You got to broaden it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't be a Hillclimb racer for the rest of your life.
I can't do the one thing. Especially hanging out with you, I just won't last.
Well, that's the thing. If you come to Canada, you better be prepared to be durable.
Yeah, I got to have more than one.
We're going to be using we'll be using God's foam pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I like it.
Some powder.
How is the chat room doing? Let's go through some comments and questions here. Once again, guys, thanks for tuning in. This has been super fun. Like I told you, dude, an hour goes by fast. We're 41 minutes in right now.
It's crazy. You can yabber on about snow, though, and it's easy.
Oh, there's my buddy Aaron. He actually owns Mountain Motorsports at a dealership in Golden, BC. And
cool.
He goes, any plans on coming up to Canada? We're working on it, dude.
Hopefully this spring.
Andy wants to, but he's got a big race season to attend. So
yeah,
you're going to be a busy guy. When's your first race?
February 4th, I believe.
Right.
Yep.
And you're ready. So you're telling me that those sleds over there are going to go race the course in about a month?
Yeah, about a month.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, I have a lot of work to do.
So you're pretty much like just waiting to kick me out of your country so you can start working on sleds.
Yeah, as soon as you leave, I'm going to be in the shop for days getting ready. Actually, I'm going to ride with Chris Brandt this weekend.
You are?
Yeah, me and Kyle Pulsper are going to guide.
No way.
Yeah.
That's going to be a party.
Yeah, as soon as you leave, I'll get on the road, head to Colorado. And
how far of a drive is that?
I'm hoping the roads stay open. With this weather, they might not stay open. So
right.
Anywhere from 9 to who knows lately. 7-hour drives are taking me like 16 lately. So
dang, dude.
We'll see.
You're also like in a pretty central place. Like you say, it's not like too far-fetched for you to drive to Colorado. And also, like, isn't Idaho like right there too?
Yeah, I can see Idaho from my house. It's just really close.
Right.
I left at midnight the other night and was up in Missoula, Montana by morning.
You went road with Cody, right?
With Keith.
Or with Keith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody Monroe, he's over in McCall. I'm going there next week. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any plans to go ride with that dude?
Yeah, as soon as I get home from Colorado, I'm going to take a day. Make sure everything's straight, because I'm sure it won't be after riding with Kyle. And then I'm going to head over to McCall.
Right.
Yeah.
Has he drug you out in the boat and put you in the green room yet?
Yeah.
How scary is that?
It's insane.
It looks so gnarly. And
if you don't know what the green room is, Cody Monroe is a nut. But he has this big jet boat. And in the rapids, he'll get in the bottom of a rapid and pin it to where the water comes over the...
Right.
Or he'll hit reverse to get his nose down, and then once the water starts coming into the windshield, they'll pin it to like try to go deeper, and then in slow, like it's just a green room because the water's
fully enclosed cab, though,
yeah.
right? Like you're not getting super
wet. It goes off the back.
No way.
Yeah, but it's insane. It's really fun, but it seems stupid when you think about it.
It's like getting a deep pow turn on a sled, but you're doing it in like a 25-foot jet boat, and he's in there driving.
River.
He's driving stick, right? Like it's not wheel.
Yeah, he has a stick on one side for throttle and a stick to steer.
Dang.
Yeah.
Like a skid steer.
Just like a skid steer.
Pretty similar.
Yeah, 2 sticks. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Let's go check out some more sleds. I seen some comments like, Travis actually was like, first puller, it's free. But, I think that
we won't start on the first pull.
No?
No.
Okay, here we go. We got a comment, Snowcross predictions. You go first. I already know who I'm going to choose, but do you follow Snowcross all that much?
Not close enough to guess.
No?
No. I don't know. Who are you thinking?
Cody Cam.
Yeah.
Cody's been hurt. He's been, it's been tough for him to get through a season healthy, but
he's feeling good now?
Yeah, he's feeling good. He went and spent a bunch of time training at Club MX. He was like, he could line up for A1 on Saturday.
Really?
Like I watched him.
He rips on it.
I've been watching him ride Supercross, and it's been really cool. Like, I wish that I had that much dirt bike skill.
Yeah.
I can ride a dirt bike in a straight line and then jump at 75 feet. Well, there's no way that I'm riding a Supercross track.
Yeah, so. I was watching him hit the whoops. He was starting to get through the whoops really well, tire tapping and stuff. And I would love to see Cody do well, fellow Polaris teammate. It would be sweet.
It'd be badass. I was talking to him actually about going down and racing a Snowcross on his practice sled.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
When would you do that?
I think that's like March 4th and 5th.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and it's the ERX Nationals. And they got an old man class now, so I could race plus 30.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go down and race that for a couple of days and race straight over here.
And if I keep riding here, I'll be in good enough shape that when I go to sea level, I won't even have to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Actually, I think that Nikki said she's going to buy us a spin bike, so that when I get home, then I can watch Yellowstone and and
spin.
battle fish and spin, dude.
Yeah. That's good. That'll be good for you. Then you'll be ready for Jackson.
Yeah. So that answers that question. I'm rooting for Cody Cam. He's on a Polaris. He looks really good. There's definitely been some changes in the roster. It's gonna be really interesting to see what Logan Christian can do on the new shearing ride. He switched over to Ski-Doo this year. He was like a born and bred Arctic Cat guy, and he's on Ski-Doo with shearing, and he looks good too. It's tough to say in photos, right? Everybody goes to the test track, and at first they're wearing like all their last year's gear, and their sleds are more or less bare and naked.
Yeah.
And then like a week before the race, all of a sudden like the race kits come out, and the race sleds are out now, and it's cool.
We were talking earlier about Supercross. We'll see who put in the work.
Yeah. What's your Supercross prediction?
I'm hoping to see the Lawrence boys do well in 250.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Roxon's always been my guy for some reason. We're the same age,
right?
And so I've been following him forever. So
how sick is that, or how much of a trip is that for you to watch someone that's the same age as you, and in a very high level demanding sport? Like, is that relative to you at all? Do you take some of the things from maybe it's his training program or his attitude towards racing? Do you take some of that and kind of like apply it to what you're doing when it comes to like your race stuff?
Yeah, I definitely look at his mindset and attitude and try
it
to
changed a
apply it to
lot.
my life,
the last 2 years, his mindset has changed a lot.
Yeah, he's grown up a lot, and he's like, for him to go out and you can see that he's so pissed off and so frustrated, but still like happy to be there.
Yeah,
I like that.
I feel through all those injuries, it kind of humbled him a little bit.
Yeah.
And not that he was like arrogant or cocky, but he was like one of the best dudes in the world. It still is, but he had to like overcome some like seriously, could have been life-changing events.
Yeah, and it's cool to see that now he just like is so grateful that he gets the opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still healthy enough to race. I think that's cool.
And I can relate to that too. I mean, if we want to dive into it with the X Games thing, there's no motorsports, right?
Right.
And I came into the X Games in 2006 racing Snowcross. I won a medal there.
Medal?
Yeah, I got a silver.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Tucker
so
whooped my ass.
That's sweet though, like to come up right on Tucker. That's
right.
sick.
And then it wasn't until 2015 that I was able to medal again. So there was a massive gap, like almost a 10-year gap.
Yeah, so why did you get back into it?
My wife. Yeah.
She motivated you to get back into it?
The season before, I actually flipped my sled in the backcountry. And, and she sees this and she kind of like plants these ideas in my head. And I owe it all to her because there's lots of things that I've thought about and maybe just not acted on them.
Yeah.
And even this spring, a lot of the things that were in my sled style letter was like, you should try this, you should try that. And I'm like,
she knows what you're capable of and sees that.
So in 2015, she's like, you need to get on the phone, you need to start calling some guys, and like you need to get into speed and style. Like you have a Snowcross medal, you know how to do freestyle. Like I've seen you do tricks on your dirt bike. You could go and ride with those guys. And I'm like, kind of hummed and hawed on it. I haven't cracked a monster because I'm having a Coors Light, dude. So I got the call and I was in, and it was 2015. I was in for speed and style. I was making my way through qualifying, and actually in one of my runs I blew a belt, which took me out of contention for podium.
Yeah.
And after that I was like, okay, like I'm kind of one of the boys here.
Yeah,
like I can compete, and so for the following year. No, Nikki does not have any sisters, guys.
That's funny.
So the following year, I put a bunch of effort into my freestyle game, and I was able to get some flip tricks in, and I went bronze medal in 2016, silver medal in 2017, double golds in 2018,
That's
double
sick.
silvers 2019, and then a snow bike gold in 2020.
And in the midst of all this, you decide to start riding snow bikes.
Yeah.
And you qualify for snow bike cross.
I did.
And it was kind of brutal. I was trying to qualify that year too. But yeah, that was, so in the midst of everything, it seemed like it.
I like having a full plate.
Yeah, I can tell.
It's I have the racer mindset it's just been instilled in me from way back, it's not
competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
you're just as competitive as I am, I can tell.
that was one of the things that I had to learn this summer. It was like, remove the competitive side out of your personal life and be a nice dude. But for me to be able to look back at what I've done with the X Games, I'm for sure bummed that we don't have an event to go to this year, but I'm also pretty content. And I feel like when you see these Supercross racers that have had success, they're not content yet. And, look at Chad Reed. He raced well into his 30s, not because he felt like he had to, but because he was he got his 1 or 2 championships that it was, but he was still chasing. He still wanted that podium spot. And, he proved that, you could be deep into your 30s into, any competitive sport, in my opinion, and still be, a front runner. And I think that, in the Hillclimb series, Keith's a pretty good object to look at. Is he's made a living out of racing snowmobiles up hills.
Right. Which is incredible.
Yeah. And so you have to be grateful for something like that, know, and for me, I'm super grateful for the fact that I was able to make a living doing backflips. And now it's to the point where, this year I'm offering clinics, and, I'm trying to take what I've learned in my freestyle success and my racing success, my backcountry and film parts. And I want to spread that awareness. I want to spread the joy of snowmobiling and show people how they can do it safely and how they can do it at a high level, and whether it's competitive or not,
Yeah. Take everything you've learned all these years and try to instill it into someone else and show them
steer them away from the mistakes that maybe I've made, and just show them the way to do things
just
properly.
Show them how great snowmobiling is to you.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things too in the last 2 years, now that I haven't had the X Games, is I'm taking every ride that I have, and I'm more and more thankful for the fact that I'm able to go and do this.
Yeah.
It's not that I have to go and do this, it's I want to go do this, and the opportunities have lined up for me to be able to go and do it.
Right. And you could have looked at that 2 different ways. You could have just been oh, no X Games, I'm done, this is bullshit. Or oh, what else can I do?
Yeah. Well, in this November too, I went cold turkey into a freestyle show.
Yeah?
Yeah, hadn't ridden a freestyle ramp in a year.
Really?
Yeah. And had to go and do a show. And, you know, I was thankful for that. I was grateful for the fact that I answered a phone call and it was somebody asking if I could go and jump a snowmobile in front of a crowd, you know, and maybe that was like an eye opener for me to the point where I was just like, wow, like this is a thing. Like people want me to ride a snowmobile in front of them for entertainment.
Yeah.
And like, I'm able to wake up and use my skills and abilities that I've accumulated over, you know, 20 plus years
of dedication,
and to be able to go and do something like that. Like,
yeah,
I didn't look at that one as a job. I was like, this is awesome. Like, I can't wait to go and do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think that the longer that you can keep that sort of mindset,
mentality, that
just adds more and more longevity into whatever you're doing. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I'm sure there's times where you have to wake up with your machine and you have to low bed it or haul it to the complete other end of the valley in the dark so that you can be, you know, on job site. Like,
yeah,
you're not pissed that you have to be up that morning. You're like, okay, like this is an opportunity for me to go and do something really good.
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely gotten a lot better at that the older I get, because I've realized that you don't get anything without like a lot of brutal hard work. Yeah. And so just enjoying that process makes things goes by so much smoother.
Okay, so to add to that, how much has that mentality embraced the fact that, you know, you're a Jackson Hole world champion? How many championships do you have, and what is your goal with Jackson this year?
Yeah, I've won six times at Jackson, so
Dang.
6 world championships. But I don't have that King of Kings title yet, and I feel like I'm healthier than I ever have been. So I hope this is my year.
Right.
And if it isn't this year, it will be next year. You know, but I'm like I'm so hungry for that title.
I have a sign in our bedroom, and it says "Live now, procrastinate later."
Yeah.
And that's, like you said, if it isn't this year, it's going to be next year. Like, it's crazy to think that your mentality is, well, if it's not going to happen for me this year, I always have next one.
Yeah.
You know?
I like looking at things that way, but I'm also like, I need this to happen. I'm ready, you know, and I'm ready. I put in so much work, and I'm ready to put in whatever it takes for that. But that's awesome. That's my goal. I need that title. Hell
yeah, dude. Landon, what are your race sleds this year, Andy? Actually, Landon, great topic, dude. I was asking Andy this as well. You know, I know what his backcountry program looks like, but what's your race fleet going to be?
My race fleet is going to be the Matrix. I'm actually running the Matrix 155 slash.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how's that going to work with the short tunnel? Because don't you guys have to run a full flap? So the flap has to touch the ground.
We're trying to figure that out right now.
You might have to run a kicker plate.
We're building flaps right now, so We'll see. But Rimshaw actually has a stock turbo class this year, which I'm super excited about. So I will have a stock Matrix that I'll race in a turbo class, and we'll just be racing the Skidoos. They're the only ones with a turbo. And then I have a sick mod that we're building that I can't wait to show you guys for 900 and open mod. And then I'm running just a Matrix 850 stalker in 900 stock and 1000 stock.
That's really cool that, you know, with the introduction of the Polaris boost and, you know, with 900 stock being, you know, sort of the premier class, now I can drive my truck and trailer down here, race the stock, like, turbo class.
Yeah.
Take that exact same sled and put it into the open mod class.
Yeah, exactly. You can race 3 classes on one snowmobile now.
I'm super pumped about that.
And it's competitive. Like, this Matrix boost rips.
Yeah.
We've been
on it a bunch this week. And, you know, I rode one last spring, and, you know, my first ride was on Monday, and I got on that thing, and even here at 9,000 feet, like, it's ripping.
Yeah, they rip. So I'm super excited to get one on the race course. And they're just such smooth, instant power.
Right.
So I'm pumped.
I seen a comment in here like, how do I get into hill climbing? You know, the Rimshaw series is sort of like it's a Western U.S. run circuit, right?
Yeah, it's like Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Utah. Okay. Kind of like that area. You know, basically the Rocky Mountains.
So someone that has never raced before, you know, is there a grassroots class, or is there an introductory class that you know, anybody can kind of enter, or how does someone get into racing Rimshaw?
Yeah, there's amateur classes. You know, if you just
Okay.
look at Rimshaw's website, you can get a rule book and all of that.
Yeah.
But there's amateur, there's semi-pro, there's pro. But you show up or you start calling, asking questions, everybody will help you with Rimshaw.
Right.
It's just a family. So
Yeah, it's cool, right? I've been in the pits as much as the Rimshaw series is it's a competition based event.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see the camaraderie in the pits, that everybody is, you know, and you see it manufacturer to manufacturer more.
Right.
You know, there's your trailer, and you know, maybe there's, you know, Riley Sprunger is down the way, or there, you know, there's other
Jay
Polaris
Manning,
athletes.
yeah.
You know, you guys are all kind of like from similar areas, and so you're helping each other out, and you're talking about lines.
Right. And even brand to brand.
Right.
You know, like even like Jay Manning is my good friend. And so like the whole Rimshaw deal is just
Right.
it's easy.
So you're saying that there's times where you come down off of the hill and you're like, oh, watch out for that rock
Yeah.
there at gate 5.
Yeah. I'll definitely tell Jay and like anybody, you know.
Right.
But
And
it's
that's
just a big family.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing is, like, you're there to win, but you're also there to see other people succeed as well.
Yeah, I want to beat everybody when they did their absolute best.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want them to
Yeah,
miss
you don't
out.
want to win because Jay or Keith fell off.
Yeah, I want to beat them when they had their best run of all time, and I was faster.
Right.
Yeah,
Sick.
that's what I want.
All right, let's dive into some comments here quick, and then we're going to go check out some sleds, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a couple of cool, like, I'm a sled nerd, dude, and there's some
I
stuff.
can tell.
There's some stuff on that sled that I can just see with the panels on that are like, that is sick. Like those billet A arms
Yeah, those are gnarly ZRP stuff.
and the rail braces.
Yep.
Yeah,
Those are ZRP.
there's some things on that snowmobile that not the everyday guy gets to enjoy on theirs.
Yeah.
Does that ever trip you out when you walk into your shop, whether it's your backcountry sled or even your race sled, and there's some of the things just like catch your eye and you're like, damn, dude, that thing's sick.
Like, that's mine?
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah. Okay, I'm going to check out a couple of comments here, and then we're going to go check out your sleds. This Gray dude, he's a Supercross rider.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool that you dirt bike fans want to check out and listen to a couple of snowmobilers talk. Here's a comment. So, what sled do I ride? Currently, I have on order a 146 Chaos 850 Matrix Slash. I also have a 155 Pro RMK Matrix Slash, and I have a 155 Chaos Matrix Boost Slash. It's a mouthful, but when you ride it, it's a freaking handful, dude.
Yeah. For sure.
So I kind of have I got 3 sleds that are all identical builds. They're black tunnels, black side panels, velocity shocks all the way across the board. I ride Fox, so I'm going to put QS3 systems on all my suspension components, and just hoping that when this trip's over, I'm going to be able to go home and there's going to be crates full of snowmobiles for me to unpack.
Wrap and go wreck.
Yeah.
Hopefully not wreck, but
Hopefully,
if you're anything like me, it'd be like so excited and just like.
I've seen your sled from your first ride, dude.
Yeah.
There's some things on there that don't look the way that they did.
Yeah,
when
that's from pure excitement. my brain did not work the whole first day.
Well, that and the new tunnel works so well, and it surprises
Yeah.
you.
For any of you that have the new short tunnel, be careful because that thing flips right over on you.
I seen Instagram today from Brant. It was like he named a new movie. It was like
Yeah.
Mousetrap to Coffin.
Mousetrap to coffin, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what you don't want.
That's a true thing. I mean, these sleds, they don't really hang up the tunnel and spin down to the ground anymore. They come on, there we go. We're back. The sleds don't really hang up the tunnel anymore. They just keep spinning until they grab traction and then loop out, and that happens that fast.
It's really fast. It's really fun once you get the hang of it.
It's going to be really fun when I put my wife on the 146
Yeah.
and just tell her hey, go climb that hill.
You have to ride next to her to make sure, because I know she'll give it a hand throw.
Oh yeah,
throw,
she's going to grab everything that it's got.
Yeah.
Oh, Landon, you're a little late on that question, dude. We were just talking about A1. I don't know that I even answered that,
You
though.
didn't. I said the Lawrence brothers and Roxon.
Right.
You didn't answer.
I did not answer. I'm a pretty big Barsha fan. He's got something going with A1. Man, that guy looks good on the gas right now.
Yeah.
So, but also Eli looks really good on the Yamaha. there's so many changes that happened in the off season.
There's some
I'm
changes,
just
yeah.
like, I don't care who wins. I want to see how well the riders do adapting to their new bikes.
Yeah, their new deals it's going to be really cool because we got so used to Eli on Cowie, Anderson on Husky, you know,
Yeah.
Barsha was on Yamaha for a bit. So it's going to be really cool. I'm excited just to see these guys on different brands.
Right.
Because they kind of had an identity with the brands they were with.
Yeah, now it's been like full mix up. I mean,
Yeah, full mix-up.
And I just seen that Cooper quit training with Alden. Like, these
Yeah.
are all like big things that are going to affect the outcome of A1.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Um,
What is that? What's today?
Saturday, dude.
Saturday?
It's
Today's
a
Wednesday?
couple of sleeps, yeah.
Yeah, a couple of sleeps
Um,
or moons.
for the West Coast 250 class, like, yeah, I'm looking to see Lawrence. It's going to be one of the Lawrences.
Yeah, I know. I love when they. It's just like when I get a first or another Thomas gets a second. Hearing those names back to back is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Or vice versa if I'm in second. But when I see the Lawrence brothers go and they're like battling and stuff,
It's
I dig it.
rad.
Yeah, it's cool.
I never really had that dynamic. One of the coolest ones that I think in all of sports was when Tucker and his dad Kirk were still racing in the same classes.
Yeah,
The first time that Tucker
didn't see
ever
that.
won an X Games Snowcross, his
Yeah.
dad was like fourth.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, Captain Kirk is a machine. And when your race number is the same as your age, that's
Yeah.
sick. Like,
Yeah,
he was like 41, dude, and
Wow.
killing it.
That's cool.
Yeah, Landon says Coop's going down. Landon, you're not a Cooper Webb fan, are you?
Both you two.
Oh, Mookie's gonna look good too, man. His new ride, he looks good in that on that Husky.
Yeah, it's cool seeing him on Husky. It's gonna be.
There's actually Jet is what? No, dude.
Did he
Jet's
get hurt?
out. I just seen that Justin Cooper's out. Let's talk about this. What are you talking about, Chris? Have you seen those 3D Logic brake levers?
No.
Oh, buddy, I'm gonna have to show you some stuff later.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
I need
sick.
some fire starter and some brake levers.
Yeah, you need some fire starter and some brake levers. Landon says the Cooper's too hard on Kenny. You must have been watching that. You must have been watching the pre-A1 show with.
This guy's saying
with
Jet's
Landon.
out too.
Damn, dude, that's
we need
news.
to get in the loop.
Yeah, instead of snowmobiling, we should be scrolling Instagram.
Yeah. We should be figuring
that's
this
a
out.
good. Yeah, really good plan, dude. Dang, I didn't know the Jet's out. That
Me neither.
sucks.
Hunter must still be in.
Uh-huh. If anybody knows why Jet is out, let us know, because I'm interested. Andy and I've legitimately been leaving in the dark and coming back in the dark, and then we eat dinner, and I've been so goddamn tired, I just go to bed.
Yeah, we've been going to sleep.
Yeah.
It's been some long days this week.
Oh, here we go. Thanks for the intel, Landon. You should be selling sleds, not watching YouTube in the showroom.
He's going East Coast.
Yeah, Cooper out with a broken foot. Jet's going to go East Coast due to broken ribs. Hey, you know who's also going East Coast is Jess Pettis.
There's actually a local kid from here that's going East Coast.
No way.
Yeah, he broke his collarbone a little bit ago. His
Who's
name's
that?
Preston Kilroy.
Okay.
He's riding for Bar X Suzuki, yeah. Keep
Sick.
your eye out for him, he rips. He's just,
There's one of the BC boys, Jess Pettis, is on a Red Bull KTM.
Yeah.
And
That's
he was
sick.
he was going to race the West Coast. I don't know where it all kind of like shifted up, but I just seen that he announced he's going east. So
Sweet. Yeah, the East Coast is going to be stacked with all these
I know
guys moving
Dude.
over there. I'm excited for East.
Yeah, here we go. John saying Pettis for 250 East.
A lot of times I forget about East, but this year I'm going to be like
Right.
itching to watch, yeah.
It's cool because it's back to Saturdays now. It's not midweek races anymore.
Yeah, good.
Heck yeah. Well, enough about those dirt bikes, dude. Let's go check out some trick sleds.
Yeah, let's do it. These mods.
All right, guys. So we just got up from our seats. Andy said, "Let's go check out some mods," and so here we are. Let's check out your 600. Andy said we can't pull the panels off. There's some things in there that I don't want anybody to see, and I don't blame him. I mean, his sleds rip, and there's a reason why they rip that hard.
Yeah.
All right, Andy. Let's start from the bottom and work our way up. We're not going to open the side panels, but let's kind of like maybe talk a little bit about like where your race program is, or like what What gets you up the hill in a short just amount of time?
Yeah, we'll just talk about a few of the things that you can see on this thing. The SLP, Starting Line Products Mohawk Ski, I don't run those all of the time, but they are a lot more aggressive. And for like ski resorts and a lot of races where I'm turning and stuff, you can't beat that ski. It's sick.
Right.
The ZRP, spindles, and the high-rise A-arms, these things are way stronger. They have the front that's high-rise, gets you over things a little bit better, but yeah, they're a lot stronger. Velocity, Walker Evans shocks.
And so was that start as a consumer shock? And I see you have some Carl's stickers on there. Obviously, there's been some things done inside that just help that shock perform better for the racetrack than what maybe would happen on the backcountry.
Yeah, we've spent hours and hours and days probably getting a set up for my mods so that just because these sleds have so much more power and we're hitting things so much faster.
Right.
So, yeah. Carl Cycle, Jack Struthers at Carl Cycle, he dove into those and made them work a lot better for me. But the velocity shock does come on a Chaos, and I think you can snow check it on some other sleds as well. So.
Yeah, for sure. I just seen a comment. Where is your front bumper, dude?
No front bumper. I think it looks cool, but it's really a pain in the ass when you're trying to move these things around. But I think it looks sick without a front bumper.
It does actually look really clean. And
the Snowcross mods don't have a front bumper, right?
I agree, dude.
Yeah.
You have a Boondocker turbo in this one.
Yeah, this one's a Boondocker.
Nice.
Yeah.
I see a little bit of custom pipe action in there.
Yeah, handmade pipe.
That's sick. That reminds me of like the old two-stroke moto days where the guys with the CR250s that had like the handmade Neil's pipes or like the super like cut and shaped welded pipe.
Yeah. This pipe it's really cool, but I have to like WD-40 it and shine it up all the time or else it'll rust.
Still really sick.
Yeah.
And there's that there's not another pipe out in the world that's that one.
No, it's the only one. Which is cool.
What about your bar setup? It looks stock.
Yeah, stock bars, low as I can get them. I haven't tried Brand's 4-inch bars yet, but I like low bars. I'm a shorter guy. I like to be in with the sled.
So do you keep your bar setup as close to stock just purely for the fact that you could train in the backcountry on something that's going to feel exactly the same on the race course?
I think that's huge, is having the same sleds on race course and backcountry.
Right.
Just having that same feel. And I'm jumping from sled to sled so often that if I have them all set up the same, then I shouldn't have to like relearn every time.
Okay. There was a comment in here, what VP are you running? I see a VP sticker here. I see a bunch of tins over here. So what, in your 600 mod, what fuel did you run in this one?
We ran a lot of C12, but now we're running C16.
Right.
Yeah.
So the C16 lets you run a leaner fuel map without having to worry about detonation?
Right.
Or what's the reason?
It seems to be the best fuel we found for running the maps that we run in these
Okay.
sets. We're running them basically as hot as we can.
Right. And I noticed that your fuel tank is pretty small.
Yeah, I can fit somewhere around 2 gallons in there. Don't look too close. I welded that thing up.
You welded that one?
Yeah, I welded that.
Man, dude.
Jack fix one pinhole.
Jack of all trades,
Yeah.
dude. And then you're running the Skins Next Level seat.
Yep,
That's just the it's the
Adams
lower.
seat.
It's frameless right now.
I actually built a little thing in there. And one time I cased so hard that I bent this and like caved my tunnel in and bent this whole seat because I landed so hard.
Dang.
But yeah.
What rear bumper is that, Andy?
It's an old ice sled bumper. Some guys in Idaho Falls used to make these.
Okay.
Yeah, this sled's a couple years old. When I look at it, it brings back a lot of memories.
Right. It's cool to sort of like have the nostalgic pieces on the sled, right? Because, this sled was at, one aspect of your career. You've grown, maybe away from some companies and kept some companies a part of your program.
Right.
So is it cool to look back at some of the old stuff, some of the stuff that's got the dust on it, and be like, man, that was a cool, like, it's more than an item at that point, right?
Right, that's a part of me. That's like a moment in my life. So yeah, looking back at it, I can remember picking that bumper up and being pumped that I had just got it for free and I was going to rep it that year, So definitely looking back at builds, it makes me have a lot of good memories.
Heck yeah. Let's talk about your track. It's really hard to see on this sled. We'll talk about it a little bit later on your 8 mod, your 850 mod. So it has the ZRP rail braces on it.
Yep, ZRP rail braces, they bolt right on.
They're coated black right now, so you can't really see them all of that well. But that's an item that I run in the backcountry as well. And I mean, Polaris does a really good job of making their rear suspension really light.
Yep.
But on the race course and jumping in the backcountry, you know, it's maybe just a little bit too light.
Yeah, we're pretty good at bending them.
Yeah, they're, you know, I mean, they look like a cheese grater, and they do work well for the 90% of guys that are on them.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, one wrong face into something on the race course, and that ruins your day. You know,
Right.
like you don't have time to put a new skid in or change rails out.
Yeah.
And for you, that's it's probably a prevention item more than anything.
Yeah, for sure. And I would never want to lose a race because of a failure in my snowmobiles.
You hear that, Landon Leduc?
We have some cold cutter. This is a 2.4 powder track that Polaris used to make. We cut it down to 2 inches, and I run the cold cutter screws. You
Okay.
can see how they're all perfectly lined.
Yeah, you indexed those. I did not index my screws my first year. And then the second year I decided I should, and I didn't even qualify.
Yeah. I don't know if it does anything, but it sure makes my mind feel
Have you been chewed up by your track yet?
not too bad. I've landed on it when it was spinning and it just shot me out. Luckily it hasn't gotten into me.
What about this bumper? It's not on or this grill. It's not on your truck yet. What's up with that?
This was actually to one of my other trucks, Kelderman
Okay.
Air Suspensions. They build bumpers and grills and all that. But yeah, he built this for me. That's my logo. I put it on my truck for a while, and when I sold it, I took it off and we hung it on the wall.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah.
Soon you're going to be hanging the sled up there.
Yeah, upside down.
Landon says if you're going to bend your rails, make sure it gets done on the sight lap. So Landon and I, we were racing in BC a handful of years back, and at the start of the weekend, they give you a sight lap you could ride the course and look at the gates.
Yeah.
And he just aired it to flat and didn't have rail braces on and completely tacoed his rails. And I think that I was supposed to ride that sled that day, and it did not go
What are
well.
friends for?
There was one other piece that I seen on this sled that we didn't get to talk about, and it's the billet sort of throttle block assembly. That's a ZRP item as well, huh?
Yeah, ZRP. ZRP builds a lot of stuff to make sure your snowmobiles don't break down. But a lot of times we'll hit jumps and our hands will hit right here so hard and break the whole throttle.
Right.
That's happened so many times to me.
So once again, like another prevention item, but it also looks pretty sick on the bars.
Prevention item, and I think it's cool. Yeah.
What you think it's gonna start? How many pulls?
I don't know. This thing is so rich when it's light. When it's cold. We can try.
Dang, dude, that was very lucky. Nobody knows that you're in here pulling on that thing for hours before.
I was thinking earlier I should have started it and warmed it up, but it worked.
Dude.
Yep. It's my baby.
You guys are like, I feel bummed for you guys that you don't get to smell the race gas right now. That is, man.
$25 a gallon.
Dang. Let's talk about your 850. It looks maybe a little bit more stocky than the 600 does.
Yeah. This one we
From the outside looking in, fairly similar. I like the black and blue that you've been running. Is that something you're going to keep running?
Yeah, definitely blue. I'm getting more into like the grays and blue and gray and blue and white and stuff like
Okay.
this navy sled. But yeah, this one's had some race stuff robbed off of it, but it's essentially almost the exact same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this is a better look at those ZRP rail braces.
Yeah, this is an older style, but pretty much.
They're full billet, huh?
Yep.
It looks so sick on there.
Yeah, full coat. They work really well.
Heck yeah, dude. This is your little fuel corner. I heard you on the phone the other day ordering up some fuel, and
Yep.
you know, how much race fuel you think you'll go through in a season?
Probably around 100 gallons.
Okay.
100 and we usually do 2 barrels, sometimes a little bit more. Yeah.
Getting comments on the Trump flag. I like it, dude.
He's coming back. Yeah, man.
Well, Andy,
That's about
it's
it.
been a hell of a night, dude. Thanks for tuning
It
in.
was fun. Thanks for having me.
And thank you guys for tuning in. I know that there's probably going to be a giveaway. People are going to be like, man, what are you giving us away? You got any, what's the deal? You got any Andy Thomas hats?
Yeah, some
Anything you could
hats.
sign?
Posters.
So
Posters, jerseys. I have a jersey.
Okay, you want to do a jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Let's go sit down. You might have another beer in the fridge for me, huh?
Yeah, you want one?
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's do some trivia. Let's do some Andy Thomas meat shop trivia. He's just gonna grab me a beer here quick. Andy says that he's got a jersey to give away, maybe an Andy Thomas hat. Take that thing off quick and show everybody.
I have some. This one's sweated.
That one's dirty, dude. You don't
Yeah.
want to give away a dirty one.
No, I'll give you a fresh one.
Hell yeah, come on, Jersey. This guy's thanks for answering a lot of questions.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, guys.
We need
It's
to,
cool having you on here.
Yeah, damn, we're creeping on an hour and a half.
Yeah, we are. I'm gonna be in trouble.
I like it. Okay, so trivia question for everybody who's still watching. There's 76 guys in here right now. Andy mentioned how many Jackson Hole World Championships that he has got. The first buddy that can name how many Jackson Hole World Championships that Andy's gotten, then you're going to get yourself a signed jersey and a hat from Andy Thomas himself. Oh, that guy right away, dude. I like it. People
There's
are
a few.
listening, dude.
Yeah,
People
they are.
like listening to you talk, man.
Look at all that. Well, I might have a few jerseys, so
Yeah, we
we'll
might
message a few guys. Most of them are right too.
I think I think my homie Landon here might really appreciate if I brought him something home
Yeah,
at Andy
for sure.
Thomas. So let's go. We're gonna go top one. Sheldon Patry, I'm gonna send you a DM later. I'm gonna get your contact info. We'll get a little package put together here from Andy Thomas, and you're gonna get yourself a nice signed jersey. How sick is that, guys? This has been a blast. It's been really fun to talk to you, Andy, and looking forward to riding with you tomorrow. Hopefully we can get into some shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
All right, dude. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.